She was the autumn leaf I couldn't catch, beautiful, brief, and never mine to keep. I loved her in bass, even the wind couldn't whisper, quietly, hopelessly, and without a prayer. They say the desert remember every name, yet the sand erased her before I could speak it. The girl I couldn't keep. They say some loves are carved in stones, other written in sand. Ours was written in stillness, between my trembling hand and the wind that blew you away. You were not the entire book. I never got to finish. I don't write these lines to win you back. I write because you never left. The first glimpse. Began in the courtyard, where light filtered through olive trees. You were not the loudest voice, but you were the loudest feeling. You walked in, with your books against your chest, head bowed, like a prayer never confessed. There were 1,000 people in campus that day, but only one, Ya Habibti, in my world. Your smile didn't deemed very beautiful, but your smile didn't demand attention. It invited surrender. Your silence was not empty. It was sacred, like a moment of sujood. When the world disappears, glances in secret. You sat with your friends in the sunlight lawn. I sat with mine, pretending to laugh, while stealing glances that burned through thine. I used to cross buildings just to pass you by, with no words, no plans, just foolish hope, to breathe the air you touched. I skipped lectures just to see you once, not because I didn't care for learning, but because Kailavi learned something deeper. Each time you looked up, your eyes spoke without speaking. They were gentle storms. They carried a suburb. I didn't understand until much later, when you were gone. Unspoken love. We never exchanged love letters, never held hands, but we lived a story. In the pauses between words, I knew your favorite bench. The sunlight touched your hair, like Rahma from the skies, and I would catch and watch you laugh, not because I was allowed to, but because my soul had no choice. You were never mine in public, but in every secret thought, in every private prayer, you were mine alone. When fate took over, then came the day I heard you would be leaving, not from school, but from my universe. Your parents choose another path for you, another name, another life, and I stood there, a man, with every title, but no control. They say love is powerful, but Kismat humbles kings. Its silence voids, it steals even the queens. And the things we protect with prayer, you didn't fight it, you followed quietly, like a sheep passing through the desert, soft, beautiful, and gone. After her departure, now the benches are just bench, and the lawns are just grasses, and I, once called a prince, am just a man, wandering through coasts. I walk through memories, like walking barefoot on glass. Everything reminds me of you. Nothing dares say your name. Did you forget me? Or do I still visit your thoughts when no one's watching? Does your husband know that someone else carries your echo? The pain beneath the silence. My palace has no answer for this ache. My mirrors don't reflect the truth. They see robes, they see lineage, but not the crack inside my chest that never healed. Ya Rabbi, I never asked for forever. I just wanted a little more time to say what I would never dared. You see, Habibti, sometimes we love too deeply to speak. Sometimes silence is the loudest vow. And I made mine too. And I made mine to you. Every day in secret. A blessing I don't deserve, but still received. You softened my harshness. You slowed my breath. You taught me that even a prince can be helpless in love. You were not a test. You were a gift. A losing you. And losing you was the cost of knowing you. Not every love is for holding. Some are for remembering. Some are for falling into. Even when they are no longer there. Lessons from the loss. I don't blame your parents. I don't blame the silence. I don't even blame fate. This was never about blame. It was about being human. In a word, where even prince lose. You were not a phase. You were a turning point. And every poem since you has been your echo in a different language. If they ask me why I write, why I bleed ink into paper, I say, because I once saw her. So if you are listening now, Ya Nur al-Kalb, know this. Halibi, you were the girl I couldn't keep, but the one I will never release. Let the world forget our story. Let your name fade from my lips. Let my soul, it veers your memory like a second skin. I still walk that campus in my dreams. I still wait for you near the canteen. And in every lifetime, and in every life that may follow us, may follow this, if we meet again, even for a moment, I will ask for nothing, just one look, and the silence we once shared, because that silence was my love letter. And you are the love I couldn't keep. Do you remember that winter evening? The sky turned gray, and I've watched you walk with your hands in your pocket, like you were carrying the whole world gently. My friends spoke, but I couldn't hear them, because your presence was louder than every voice in the room. Your perfume lingered in the corridor, long after you had left. Even the walls memorized your part. Sometimes I would time my steps just to walk behind you, not to speak, just to exist in your atmosphere. And still, I said nothing, not because I didn't feel, but because I felt too much, because my silence was the only thing brave enough to carry your name. I've watched you eat lunch with a gentle focus, like even your hunger had so many manners. I memorized your laugh, not because it was loud, but because it was rare. And rare things build empires in hearts. One day you cried, quietly, No one saw, but I did, and it shattered every boundary I had wrapped around my chest. I wanted to run to you, to ask what broke your light, but all I could do was pray silently. Ya Rabbi, fix what I cannot touch. I wrote poems for you, on napkins, on the back of notebooks, inside my palm, with invisible ink. I wrote you into everything. You were not a distraction. You were a direction, a sacred gravity pulling me towards truth. I spoke to the moon about you. Every night, after you were gone, I think she misses you too. When people asked why I smiled alone, I said, because someone exists who doesn't even know. She owns my smile. I never touched you, never whispered your name, but Kalibi had already placed you where no other could ever enter. You were never mine, but you made me more myself than I had ever been. Then came the day when your laughter vanished from the campus wind. Someone said, she's engaged. I didn't ask to who. I didn't ask to need. Do. It wasn't jealousy, it was silence, ripping open the sky inside me. Your love was mine, but your hand was promised elsewhere. You followed your family's decision, like a daughter, taught to obey, and I respected you more for every step you took away from me. But I broke quietly, not with rage, but with reverence, because, Ya Habibti, I always knew you were a miracle I could never hold. You left like a breeze that never belonged here, like a secret never meant to stay. And I stood there, watching my prayer walk away, in heels. No one else saw what I buried that day. No funeral, but a soul was laid to rest. After you left, the coffee tasted colder, the air lost its poetry, and I stopped writing for a while. People think heartbreak is loud. They're wrong. Heartbreak is silent. It watches, it remembers, it waits. I waited for time to fix me, and didn't. I just taught me how to carry a wound like a hidden crown. I saw your wedding photo once. You looked beautiful, radiant, at peace, and for a moment I felt joy and devastation fall into each other, like fire meeting water. I whispered, may you never know pain, and meant every word. That's what real love does. It doesn't curse what it couldn't have. It blesses what it couldn't hold. You were the answer to a prayer I was never meant to keep. And still I carry you in my silence, like a lantern in the dark hallway. When I speak of you, I call you the current I couldn't keep. But in my soul, you were the only one I truly did. My life moved on. My name remained known. But behind every smile, there is a space where you still sit quietly, Some loves don't burn, they glow. Even mine, in the way stars belong to no one, yet everyone claims them when they are gone. And I don't claim you, I honor you. And in every breath, in every verse, you still live. Habibti. I loved you, I still do, even now, especially now, when I say nothing. I don't light candles for you anymore, but the moon still burns your name on my door. The world moved on, as the world should, yet my ribs still cage where your shadow stood. They say, forget her, she was never yours. But how, when the sky still tastes of our pause? I drink my coffee, bitter, no sugar, to sweeten, like the love I swallowed, but couldn't weaken. Your wedding day, I wore black in the sun. I mourner at a feast, yet I wasn't one. Your laughter rang like a distant azan, calling me to prayer. I couldn't begin. Sometimes in a crowd, I catch a white scarf, and for half a breath, you are not so far. The memory dissolves. I'm just a fool. The past absolves. So here is my truth. Yeah, however, I loved you louder in silence than sound. Now, the ears stretch an empty masjid. Here my whispers are all that's left. No blame, no regret, just this quiet depth. To a girl, the world, let me forget.